First, I would like to thank WAAS, the World Academy of Art and Science, of which I am a fellow, although my time is mostly dedicated to the Club of Rome. I'm the Secretary General, but I wanted to thank WAAS for these for the organization of this conference. This is the fourth and last day. You know, all good things, even the best things, have an end. So this is the fourth day, and it's really exciting to have the opportunity to discuss with our panelists of today on a topic which I think is essential. Challenging, I would say, but essential at the same time. And I just read the framing of the session as it was put in the program of the conference. The sources of global turbulence all point to fundamental flaws in the ideas, theories, institutional functioning, and policies directing society today. This session, in which we are now, will examine and challenge underlying fallacies and propose changes in thinking required to address the root causes of the challenges that humanity confronts. So this is the very interesting, very thought-provoking, I would say, topic. And to discuss that, we have, I would say, an excellent panel, especially because we have people from completely different backgrounds here. If I have to summarize in one word, you know, we have contributions from philosophy, music, business, and healthcare. Nothing less than that. And all of them will be, I think, crucial to dig into the topic. And in order to make the most out of the little time we have, we have agreed with the speakers on a process with the first round of interventions where each of them will have 5 minutes of time to speak, to discuss on two questions that I have proposed to them, connecting with the framing of the session. And they are free to, you are free to address the two questions, one of them, one more than the other, and in whatever order, feel free. The two questions are the following. In your lived experience, whether at personal or professional, in professional domain or a combination of both, what made you dramatically change the way you were thinking, if that ever happened? Because this is about changing the way we think. I think there are good reasons to address that because we face, you know, self-inflicted existential threats for humanity, and either we change the way we address them, but in order to do that, we change the way we think, or the futures will not look good. The present is already not looking good in so many ways. So very important to address this question of how we change the way we think. And it came to my mind, what if you, the panelists in this session, shared your personal experience of changing the way you think in whatever context? How did that happen? And how painful that was, maybe, but up to you. And the second question is, in your opinion, which underlying fallacies should we expose and work on to change our thinking in order to address the root causes of the challenges humanity confronts? In other terms, you know, what are the blind spots that we have right now, particularly the blind spots that we don't want, whatever we see, but we don't want to see. And this idea of underlying fallacies that we have to confront, you know, to address the existential challenges. And I stop here from my side. All the panelists have extensive background, very interesting, all of them. I will not put time in presenting them. Now we have Natalia Rojcovscaia-Tumaha, who is joining us from Moldova, and she's a musician, interpreter, composer, musicologist. So flying to a completely different, but of course completely connected space of knowledge and human experiences. And music inspires, I think, all of us. So, Natalia, the floor is yours to share your
Thank you
view.
very much for your kind introduction. I am honored to be here and share my thoughts. I am a creative person, as you mentioned, and I'm involved in different areas of arts and philosophy also and research. I think that future present from all direction as never before, urging to be born through us. Within trembling once stable structures lies a deeper signal. Turbulence is not merely what disrupts the system, it is how the system learns. What if the dysfunction we witness is not collapse but initiation, a civilization rite of passage where obsolete patterns dissolve to make way for the unthinkable new, like neurons firing before insight, like water turbulence before it becomes cloud? We are undergoing a repattering of consciousness itself. And what if our deepest conflicts, geopolitical, ideological, extensional, are not failures of diplomacy, but the very forge in which planetary awareness is being formed? The seemingly irreconcilable divides between worldviews are in fact a charged process of mutual attunement. The concept of conflict, setting aside its most extreme forms such as war, is a deeper interplay of national interests, cultural identities, and social economic dynamics, much like drama, where conflict is the unity of opposites, a stimulating force that moves the story forward. Ukrainian and Russian narratives, Israeli and Palestinian truths, global North and South perspectives, they do not negate one another but coexist as interdependent polarities, quantum entanglements arising within a shared human field. Each holds a fragment of the whole. I understand it very well because I am close to this situation and I am from multicultural areas. This is why traditional peace building so often fails. It seeks surface harmony while overlooking the evolutionary intelligence embedded within conflict itself. For this is not a crisis of knowledge, I think. It is a crisis of perception, of imagination, of coherence. Humanity's next evolutionary leap is not technological but perceptual. Neuroscience reveals that our brain instinctively perceives contradiction as threat, amygdala activation, and increased defensiveness. But neuroplasticity reveals another path. We can train ourselves to metabolize paradox, not just intellectually, but somatically, relationally, emotionally. This is how we begin to rewire how we relate to difference. Let us listen to those we disagree with, not to defeat them, but to be expanded by them, where another's truth do not threaten ours, but deepens it. When opposite views, not in isolation but in community, are fully expressed without suppression or dominance, something extraordinary happens. A third perspective begins to emerge, fostering not reaction but transformation and leading to an upgraded capacity to hold grief, complexity, and regeneration in the same breath. Like in the Listening from the Heart initiative, where biofeedback helps participants stay open-hearted amid historical wounds, which can be healed this way. Thus, the question is no longer what to fight over, but what to build together. This is what I call evolutionary literacy. That reshaped my thinking was realizing how a child's vision reveals the world's unity, a seamless flow of wonder, hope, and possibility. Even in difficult times, children hold an innate trust in life's creative power, reminding us that transformation begins not with fear or division, but with openness, imagination, and heartful connection. Their clarity teaches us that the future is not something distant to us but a living presence to listen to and nurture today. The next renaissance will not be sparked by more data, but by deeper integration, a fusion of logic and intuition, science and art, AI and ancestral wisdom, and reimagined education must fuel this transformation, not as knowledge transfer, but as consciousness cultivation. To sum up, orchestrating turbulence requires that we learn to perceive the unseen, sense the emergent, and listen with ourselves and our soul fibers. The future is not a timeline, it is a rising frequency, I can tell you as a composer. What appears as chaos is coherence at a higher octave, too complex for old instruments. Evolution surges, triggering disarray, and then invites us to rise, to become more than before. So I ask you, what if this turbulence is not the end of something, but the beginning of everything? Thank you.
Oh my God, Natalia, I love that.
Thank you.
I thank you so much for this very rich intervention. It's so interesting because I said we have people from philosophy, music, business, and healthcare. And actually, our philosopher Piero started with a lived experience of a big health issue. Now you have done a very philosophical and deep exposition, with which I'm sure that Piero resonates a lot. I do, for sure, digging into complexity. So let's see how the thing goes. We will have, I think, more surprises from the other panelists. Natalia, Douglas, who wants to
Yes, I
go
have
ahead,
some
Natalia?
thoughts. I am fully agree with Piero because the education is the key for us, especially this interdisciplinary approach, because we involve it in our practices also, and we add the creative aspect because it is very fruitful for younger generations' potential. We have this direction as socially engaged art, and it is works very well when we addressing to a synergy of different kind of arts and speak directly with soul, with interdisciplinary areas which can empower each other. And it is very good way for understanding our reality and our perspectives for the future. And especially it gives a younger generation the moral values again, because this is the basis foundation for us. And yes, our future is complexity, but I see the good prototypes of this new piece, and it is already here. And I know that emerging AI assistant reconciliation tools beginning to show each other side how trauma shapes perception. Heart coherence techniques are increasingly explored in high-scale negotiations to support emotional regulation. Generative justice frameworks aim to replace punishment with collective meaning making. These are not fantasies, they are a sign of new kind of peace, and one that doesn't eliminate difference but expands the cognitive and emotional capacity to contain it, and personally and in all aspects of our life. Yes, I am an optimist and I see the perspective for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Natalia. And Hope, Natalia, you said you are optimistic. I am optimistic, yes, but I recognize the difference between optimism and hope. I mean, or naive optimism is to believe that things will go okay. This is not what we are talking about. Hope is the decision, that you bet on the humanity of everybody, you bet on life with a capital L or whatever you want to call it, there are many other names. And you work on it, it's hope is an action, not just a passive
Yes,
perspective.
because every situation has two sides, and we need to maybe concentrate on the opportunities, possibilities for us, facilities, and this is my way.
No, but
I'm
also on the
optimistic view.
duality, you spoke very well about this duality, and the us and them, and that we have to overcome these divide, of us and them. So to finish, I just want each of you to say something. I proposed, let's beat something between less than 5 words about how you feel right now, whatever you want to share at the end of the session. So maybe Natalia, you can start.
Thank you very much. I'm very inspired by our conversation today. It was very meaningful for me. It was very great time when I heard about your distinguished experience and very useful some ideas for my activities. And I would like to be in interconnection with dear World Academy of Art and Science, and this is the most important, significant place where we can exchange and make some good changes for the future. And today, I think we need to concentrate on creativity and only positive vibrations, because everything in our life in our world is vibration, and we have the same laws in our universe. It can be appears in every side of our life, and we can understand very deeply each other, and we need to found this unique language of emergence with which you can understand each other better.
Yes, so many thanks. We are exactly punctual, but we are unfortunately done in terms of time. Many thanks to all of you. It has been a very rich, and I hope the attendants will have enjoyed at least as much as I did your presence and your exchanges and your openness. Many thanks to all of you.